Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
How are you guys?
How's everything?
We missed you guys.
Yes, we did. Sorry,
We've
I'm
had
checking.
some technical difficulties
Yes,
the
we
past
have.
couple of days.
I meant to put that one first. All right. There we go. Awesome. Sweet. So, here we are, right?
Episode number 3.
Yep. Episode 3. And this one specifically goes out to all my single people, because this is what today's topic we want to talk about for sure.
Our single friends.
Is singleness. So, one of the funniest things that we've always talked about was making sure that before we started dating, one of the little vetting processes that we had was making sure that we were both happy as individuals. And I think that's one of our key things that we've always done. Sorry, we're looking at Ellie again.
Baby monitor.
Yep. Coffee's ready too. Yes. And as I was saying, singleness has always been something that's been very important to both of us.
Yeah.
Because the motto for today is single individuals make really good partners.
Yeah. Like, you have to, I guess, be ready as an individual in order for you to give the best you can in a relationship. Because you don't want to step into a relationship not knowing how to be your own person beforehand.
And to be honest, like, mine is the whole like fairy tale, us now being 3 years, mine is the whole fairy tale, like, of like the emotions and the highs of like, oh my god, and the lows of like we're arguing, all those in betweens, like the nonchalant daily activities, even like your chores that you do by yourself, like that's all comes from you being single and being able to do it. Because my mom used to joke with me, she's like, ya te quieres casar y te puedes limpiar la cola. Like, like, and it's hilarious because, I feel like every Mexican mom does that.
Yeah.
Probably Hispanic mom.
moms.
Because, like, it's true, though. It's like, how are you going to want to be in a committed relationship when you can't even do things for yourself? Like, for example, like, I got to live alone while being away in college in Florida. So I had to learn how to cook, how to survive, how to clean, how to organize my stuff, grocery shopping, how to get myself from place A to B. And this is straight out of high school too, so I've never lived by myself, never got that privilege of living by myself, but that was crunch time. And that's when I kind of like figured out, like, oh damn, like, my mom was always upset. She's not really upset, but my mom was always upset at me because I was always like, she got it. So I'm like the youngest of 2 siblings, and for some reason in Hispanic culture, that's like the el bebé de la casa, whatever.
You guys are also two boys.
Yeah, that too. So my mom babied us, and I realized that as soon as I moved out, and then even in marriage, I realized that, like, there's certain things that I should probably pick my own weight, and I have. So it's been really good. It's very, very good. But yeah, that's a very micro example of what the bigger picture is. So obviously, as a single person, you are responsible for yourself and only yourself.
Yeah.
For example, when you're single, you don't, and this is why we tell people, enjoy your singleness as much as you can, but also don't just nonchalantly just go with the flow. I think the product, which is the good marriage, a good relationship, comes from a good, I guess,
single background,
but also modeling and like shaping what you are in that single season.
Yeah, and a lot of times people take their single season for granted, which I've seen.
People be like, "Yo, let's do this
like,
and that."
Not even that, but it's more of, like, I guess you reach a certain age. I guess you reach a certain age and you're like, man, I haven't found anybody yet.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm just single. Like, ¿qué voy a hacer ahora? What am I gonna do? And
you see it happen.
Yeah, and I think in that season you need to, how you said, work on yourself. Work on your hobbies, whatever you want to do, your self-care. As women, I don't know, pick up a hobby, focus on your studies, focus on jobs, anything you want.
Sorry, it just reminded me of that meme that was like, yo, how come guys have more hobbies than girls? I'm like, there's no girls' hobbies. Whatever, it's just mad random.
I don't get it.
You remember that video I sent you? It was just like, oh yeah, like, guys have like soccer, they have like car things, they have all these like things you can do, and it's like, no, girls can do those things too. Like, pick up a hobby, bro.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm trying to get at was like you should have a hobby. I think it's one thing that we kind of figured out like into marriage because we've been so about.
I think even when we were dating though.
Yeah, we were kind of just like, yo,
Because what?
you got nothing else to do, like.
Yeah, because when we started dating, we were still doing our single
Yeah, and that's when we got to realize
things.
Yeah.
Because like we started dating through COVID, and we would be on FaceTime.
I'll be gaming.
He would be playing his games, and I'd be watching my novelas or my movies or doing my nails. And
that unemployment check was crazy.
But we were on FaceTime.
I know.
We were on FaceTime for like 5 hours. Just not even talking to each other, just
like,
enjoying each other's company
like,
through FaceTime.
Yeah, because I mean at the time that was specific because you couldn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
My mom, everybody's parents were like, "Nah, you can't go nowhere." I was even like, "I'm not trying to catch COVID or anything like that."
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's true. But yeah, so preparing yourself for a relationship, having hobbies. Not only that, but also being intentional with how you want your relationship to be played out.
Yep, 100%.
Because a lot of people, they don't know what they want. They don't know what they're looking for. And then they start dating randos.
Like, and like, you can kind of see it sometimes, like, especially with like close friends, you're kind of just like, you guys aren't even like
compatible.
Not even compatible, but it's like,
why are you dating?
Like, for example, we have a conversation with people. It's like, oh yeah, I want this person. And then go and date the complete opposite. And we're just like, I mean, I don't like giving unsolicited advice. This is why we started a podcast, so we can just choose chismosear or whatever. This is for nobody specific. This is just for if you are single and you are curious about dating, or you are trying to get something a little more serious. This is what it's for, right? Just little life lessons that we learned that I think has helped us out. But yeah, like things like that. Like you just have to know, like, what were we saying? What?
That people go and date randos.
Yeah, it's just like you should be intentional. Like obviously, time is very valuable. It's irreplaceable. Like for example, since you started watching this, I forgot to put the timer. Great.
5 minutes.
I'll do 5 minutes. Let's see. Hold on. Oh no, my mouse. See, get a new mouse. Anyways, I'll just go with the flow. Yeah. So like, time is very valuable. Like I was saying, since you guys have started watching, that's time you can't get back. So I hope, you use your time wisely.
Yeah.
Especially being single. Definitely work on yourself.
Like, what did you do in the time that you were single?
Well, so that's my example. So, I worked on myself, right? I remember that I always told myself that I wanted a healthy relationship that has good discussions, not arguments. This is around the time before I met you, because I didn't know how to argue. Because I'm like, you can't argue with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can argue with your friends, do whatever. I don't know, but like, at least me personally, I didn't know how to argue fully, because we talked about this. I didn't know how to argue fully because.
Your family also doesn't argue.
Yeah, so like, quiet. And that's what I wanted. I wanted something that like, but I wanted a little bit more
drama in his life.
A little bit, but like tame drama, to the point where like, all right, let's argue it out, let's hash it out, but let's come to a reasonable conclusion as an adult. So that's what I wanted, right? So with me, I always told myself, and those that know me, I like to be very patient. I think I made sure that like, I checked myself. I gave like at least like this is what goes on in my head. Whenever we disagree, I'm kind of just like, mine is the emotion now of like, damn, you're getting me tight. But like, or I'm like, what are you talking about? One of them is obviously don't say, one thing that I worked on was like, make sure I'm aware of what comes out of my mouth. So I make sure that I don't insult you. I don't say anything that is meant to hurt you. And I for sure don't cross the boundaries that we've set, which is like, so talk about divorce, talk about whatever, like put that on the line. I don't do that because in my singleness, I made sure that I was always filtering what my brain thought and then what came out of my mouth.
That's good.
And that's one thing that I think everybody should be able to do.
Yeah.
And that should work towards.
Not even in relationships, just overall in like friendships and things.
Yep.
Because that's a huge one. Because you're with your friends all the time, and sometimes friends.
Oh, you can get like us because we're all adults, right? You were what, 19 when we started dating? I was 24, 23. Even that work is a very good place to actually stretch and exercise those singleness qualities, characteristics,
Qualifications.
qualifications. Because it's like one good way, definitely, is like if you have like if you're an external, if you talk to externals, like you have clients or whatever, or there are people that are like receiving your service and you have to like customer service, whatever. Like I've had to do events because when I used to come from production, where I would get like cursed out for like the funniest things ever, and I was like, it's right in front of your face, like it's already resolved. But like my thing is like I could have gone back and forth with the person, and I was like, let me put it to the test. I'm like, let me actually be kind, let me actually be respectful, let me actually be like, hey, in a way that like gets my point across. And like honestly, like 10 times out of 10, they were always like, oh my bad, I'm sorry. And that's when I was like, oh wow, this is actually working. Like it's actually good to be nice, and it's actually something that I can take with me because that was my goal, to be a nice person that's respectful, and is actually, and there's the other half of it, to be understanding. So I've always been a person that like start in my singleness was working on being able to see all perspectives, because I was like, I don't know everything. I've learned that from the beginning. I'm like, hey, let's be humble. I don't know everything. I don't know the answer to everything, and we said this before. We don't know everything. I'm just somebody that has an idea, that has an opinion, that has a life, that has gone through things that I think are shareable.
Yeah.
And with that, I've always been like, hey, like, I don't know everything. So those two things, when it comes to, or at least that specific example that we're giving, has brought a marriage where we can argue. I understand your point. I will listen to your point. Even if it doesn't make sense sometimes, or even if I don't agree with it, at least I know that I will always stay in a calm, level-headed way.
Yeah.
And the funny part is that even if I don't, it's fine because we're not perfect. And at the end of the day, we're gonna go at each other.
This is his way of going at each other, though. He doesn't raise his voice.
Oh yeah, that's also the thing too. I'm not a screamer. I'm not much of a screamer. I'm not. I'm not like novelas. I'm like somebody.
That's wild.
No, but it's
that was
different.
old me. That was old me.
This morning. No, I'm joking. Nothing happened this morning.
No, but that's good. I think also finding the person who has the same values as you. I think that's that's a big one.
Well, also before even that, like, so we'll start naming things like that, but then like that can all be taken as an individual. For example, like finding the right person that has the same value as you. First, you got to know your own values, because some people be like, oh yeah, I believe in everything and anything. It's like, one of the biggest things for us was being Christ-centered. We are Christian. We believe in Christ. We read the Bible. We go to church. We do all the shindig, everything. Why did you say that, shindig? I don't know what the heck. Anyways, that's one of our core features of like us being. Sorry, Ellie's moving. Us being as an individual. You know, I'm not gonna go and date somebody
unequal yoke,
or somebody who does not even believe. That only applies to like fellow Christians, but like somebody who's like completely doesn't even believe in the same thing as I do.
That is true. Yeah, I've seen a lot of like couples that are married that one of them is Christian and one of them is Muslim, but now they have kids.
And so it becomes like, very
tricky, because it's like, how are you going to raise your kids, and what religion?
And at the end of the day, I'm like, you could do both.
You can, but
one will always be more prominent than the other.
Yeah.
And we've seen countless people that happens to, and I'm just like, it ends up becoming a difference of morality, which ends up being a difference of every single day, ends up being a difference of the way you function as a relationship. So we both came to the conclusion that we both agreed to the same thing. We go off the same book. We go off the same mindset, the same spirit, whatever. And that ends up leading us. And honestly, even that, like, that was a big one for us. Like, we can go to church together every Sunday. We can do any extracurricular activity that the church provides together. And we can be in that group of people that will understand us and that we will understand.
In the season that we're in.
And also, the unequally yoked thing is, like, I don't have to teach her anything. Like, I'm not, like, mentoring her. I'm not leading you in that sense. I'm like, this is the Bible. You're like, oh, my God, I've never heard of that. Like, we're actually, like, we've been in it for a while.
Yeah.
But, like, that's also a big part of it.
Yeah.
But definitely, similar beliefs, especially now with this whole politics and stuff like that, we make sure that, like, most of our stuff are aligned. 9 times out of 10 they are. And it's Interesting. Sorry, Ellie's moving again.
We need to have her on the podcast.
We really do.
Right here.
Just sleep her. No, just put her to sleep on top of the table.
No, but yeah, having the same beliefs is a huge one because in my singleness, I wanted, I wanted someone to come to church with me. And I always thought about the future. And I'm like, when I have kids, when I get married, I want to be married at church. By our pastors, and when we have kids, I want to raise them in the church with the same values that I was raised in, because I saw that with my parents. I saw it growing up in where my dad was like, church is not for me, and my mom grew up, and it was a different dynamic. So to me, when I was single and I was like looking for a partner, I always wanted that to be the common ground, but also in values of
Yeah, definitely. That's not a non-negotiable.
yeah,
Definitely not.
but also I wanted someone who could laugh with me and who can have conversations, and I did that. I could bring tough conversations up, and I was going to get a response that wasn't going to be upsetting
Or toxic.
or toxic.
Yeah. Let's go in. Sorry, I blanked out. I had a thought process, and I completely forgot what it was. But it was going on to what you were saying. But then you started talking about your parents, and I was like, "Yo, I haven't seen your dad in a while." Anyways,
They're soccer buddies.
Shout out, suegro. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that has to be something very important. Definitely. There are, like I was saying, not non-negotiables. There are things that you should not bend the knee for. Moral foundation, religion is a big one. Even like, I don't even know what top of my head. View on money. Yeah, I think if you guys, that's also another one, which is very hard to actually convince somebody who has spending problems. Or I follow this podcaster, the one we're watching, the Caleb Hammer show, something like that, where the two people, and you see some drama on there. That's kind of what inspired me to also to do this. You see some drama in there of like, oh yeah, I have a spending problem, I have a gambling problem, I have this and this that involves money, and now you're like, oh, I thought that was already paid for. All those things, definitely, those are things that you should see before even getting into a relationship.
Also, how many kids you want to have?
Oh, kids is also a big one.
If you don't want kids at all.
Yep. And I'm like, to each their own. I get it. Cool. Like, I'm big on like kids are a blessing of the world. Especially now having a 10-month-old. 10-month-old? Yeah, 10-month-old. I understand. Cool. Honestly, it's not as hard as people make it seem. It's really easy.
Yeah.
I don't have like 10. Not really, but like that. If it's the kids are like, oh, I'm not meant for kids, or I don't want kids. I'm like, cool. But like, I get it. Everybody's different, but as everybody's walking their own path, it's like, but at least be realistic about it. I've seen people that like get into relationships and then like they're about to get married, or they get married, and for some reason they just never talked about kids. And it's like, oh yeah, I actually don't want kids. Or actually,
and the other person is like, but I want 3.
And people could say like, oh yeah, just divorce, boom. It's like, but the whole point is like to avoid, and this is my thing. The whole point, my favorite quote, I'll probably say it multiple times. I always like preventing things than correcting them. Like, this could have been avoided from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because now you have to go through a heartbreak. Now you have to go through a whole, like, if you guys moved in together, like, you have to move out, finances together, you have to separate all of that. Legal. If you guys bought a house together, oh my God.
Screwed.
All of that, right? Whatever. If you have kids, even worse.
How? But they don't want kids.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
Kids before, I don't know. Whatever it is. But, like, it's just things that you have to talk about. And, like, one thing the joke I always say is, yo, when I was single, if my relationship looks like a novela or those dramatic movies, I don't want it, because those are just there for show. You know what I'm saying? Go watch The Notebook. I was like, yo, I get people are like, yo, I wish it was like my relationship was like that, but it's like, yo, that's one of the most toxic, like, she's smiling. Sorry, that's like one of the most toxic examples of like love ever. Like, leave your mans, whatever.
He doesn't like it. I love watching The Notebook, and he's just like, ugh, and walks away.
I was like, bro, she cheated.
He's like, she was engaged.
She cheated, bro. Literally, like, I don't get it. Like, anyways, but that's just my thing, obviously she just watches it for fun. We're not like living it, because that would be crazy. But yeah. I think one of the best things though too is being realistic. Definitely, being realistic with yourself, being realistic with other people. For example,
having a checklist is a big one.
Yeah, but being realistic with the checklist.
Exactly.
What you want in a relationship, be realistic with it. There's people that I see that go online that talk about like, hey, what do you want in a man? I want to make this, and this, and that. Which
I hate those videos.
I don't. I get it.
They're
It's good entertainment. I get it.
No.
I'm probably gonna hate for this. It's good entertainment. I get it. Sure, if you like drama, watch it. Whatever. You're into reality TV. Whatever. Like I feel like it all fits in that type of
I
drama.
don't even think it's reality TV. That's how people actually think.
I hope not.
Ask me the question.
What do you want in a man?
I want a 7-foot man that makes $3 billion
A day.
a day.
Dang.
That's literally what those videos are. And honestly, it's so unrealistic that
I thought it was always like hyper inflated. Like the way I thought it was always like exaggerated. But some people actually think
people actually think like that. Like if you're bringing in like what's the average salary in the
70.
US? Like
Let's do
50?
70, 60. Let's do 60. Let's highball it.
If you're bringing in $60,000, the other person can bring in the same. And in those videos, they're like, no, they have to be making $100K a year, and they have to be 8 feet tall. Like, bro,
What is the Yankees with the Giants? Yeah, no, like all those things is just like
you have to be realistic.
I'm very big on that. I'm very big on that. It's like sure, I get it. You have all these expectations, but like sometimes, and this is a reality that I've seen it. Like sometimes the person that you're meant for, or the person that's really good for you, or like will give you the best life you've ever had, might not be in those checkbooks. So I always be like, hey, maybe cross some things off.
Be realistic with it.
Like if they're deal breakers, like this is what I would even do. Ask yourself why they're deal breakers, and if you find yourself just being shallow, or being like following a movie trend or following whatever, or like I don't know, just think about it. These are things I have to do. Definitely cross it off your book, because what was it? I was a bit of a joke, but yeah, like I don't know. Good thing you didn't have. He has to be 7 foot. I'm like 5'6", bro. I'm not even shirking, whatever. But like these are things that are like I don't know. I just like I just seen. I don't know if I'm saying it because I'm under 6 feet or whatever, but.
No, I don't think it's that.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
It's just
a lot of people are
it's not that serious, bro. Like,
but even guys are like, oh, I want my wife to look like a plastic doll. Like that's not gonna happen.
BBL everything.
You know?
Like what the heck? Tummy tuck. Also a big one. If you are single, definitely get off social media.
Yeah, social media.
I'm talking about the guys. Brain rot too, but I'm talking about the guys specifically because I remember somebody was talking. I follow this guy that like goes around and like. This is my form of entertainment is so funny. He basically pokes around like influencers that like Photoshop, edit. I was talking to my friend Omar.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling me that like CapCut now like there's a filter that'll like make your waist like half the size of it.
Oh really?
But it looks completely natural. Like things like that. It's just like, and it's funny because some of the guys will definitely want that, and it's like, bro, like all those posts.
Really,
all
bro?
Those posts
when
are
you look
edited.
like Shrek and you want Princess Fiona when she's at her best. Take the potion, my dude.
Literally, beautiful Shrek. That's it. But things like that, like I be thinking that I'm just like, guys, and I'm probably gonna get canceled for this. I don't even know. Whatever. It's like some people want some of like the highest like small 0.001% of like females or guys, and it's like, guys, like what you should be doing is like maybe.
Can you guys hold a conversation with that person? Because if you can't hold a conversation with that person, your relationship is going nowhere.
100%. I've seen two people get married and they're just like,
why are we married? They're on their phone. Like they're like,
what do we do now?
No conversation whatsoever. I don't know who he's talking about. I'm just going with the flow.
No, me neither. I'm just giving an example. Just even like people that I don't see, people in public. I'm just like,
Yeah, like we go out to eat sometimes, and there's a young couple. They're probably not even married, getting to know each other, and they're literally on their phone just scrolling. Like there's no conversation
This is the death
whatsoever.
scroll. That's one thing for this year. Get rid of death scrolling because I've seen moms not even take care of their kids because they're just like,
Literally.
"Pa, se cayó el niño." They're like, "Oh my god." I mean, same thing can be said for guys. Gaming. Sometimes in gaming, you're just like, "Oh, kids in the oven." Hold on. Oh my god. There's one video I remember. They were like, "Yo, se cayó el niño." Like, come on, man. Like, pick him up, bro.
Oh, he was talking to his friends. Yeah.
No, anyways, it's just things to be intentional. So yeah, so one of the things that definitely we have notes this time because we're professionals. Be realistic. Definitely be realistic.
Make sure they know how to hold a conversation. Don't be shallow. In terms of beauty standards,
No, definitely.
because beauty fades.
100%.
At the end of the day, you want.
How you know? Look at all the top models from like 1970. Look at them now. Like, eso va a pasar.
Like, of course, have your preferences, whatever you want, but don't be super shallow, and don't pass on a guy or a girl that doesn't meet all your
Criteria.
beauty criteria just because.
And I've seen most people like reject people because of beauty criteria. And I'm
It was
just
funny
like,
when we started. He brought up a thing. He was like, "Oh, I thought you would have said no to me because we were like the same height." And I was like,
she's taller than me by like half an inch, by the way.
I was like, "What do I look like to you?"
I was just like, just in case. But anyways, but that was one of the things that like as a single person you kind of have to deal with because you're just like, there are certain things you can change. Sure, I could dress better. Sure, I could lose weight, start building on mass, whatever. I mean, now there's height surgery, but I'm like,
For what? God made you like
literally. So now now somebody who's completely comfortable in their skin, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I'm like, I got married, so
that. If you Google Jesus' height, he was 5'5". Jesus was a short king.
literally. I remember she used to say that when we started dating. But yeah, like things like that. I just like at the end of the day, I'm like, the person you pick will like, for example, like mad people put mad makeup, mad filters. What happens when we get married, honeymoon is if you don't live together, which by the way we're also against prior to marriage. Mad makeup, and then you see them and they take off all the makeup. They take off like the corset, whatever the freaking what's that thing called the thing that morphs your body you put under?
La faja.
La faja, bro. And everything's everywhere in the wrong place. Like I was just like, whoa.
That's wild.
I'm exaggerating, but like you see that it's like, oh damn, like that's not what people look like.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, because you can alter your looks however you want. People are getting Botox now, fillers. People are getting BBLs. People are getting implants. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Which is why I'm like, especially in this day and age, I just need somebody who looks natural all the time, 24/7, and that was it. And that's kind of like what we were thinking about. But where's I going with this? Yes, so definitely be realistic. That's a big one. And if somebody hits you up, not you specifically because you're married, but if somebody hits you up and you're single and you're just like, I just want to have somebody that has a good time. I want to spend time with somebody to just have a good time. And definitely, I'm not talking about anything crazy. Just like chat it up, see what they're like. If you feel like somebody's there and you might not give them a chance, normally, after watching this, hopefully you do, because you never know.
This is your sign to shoot your shot.
That's also a big one too, shooting your shot.
Yeah.
I feel like some people are scared, especially being single. Like I've known guys, I've seen guys, I've heard of guys that like, I like this girl for like 5 years, but I've never talked to her once.
Oh
And
my
I'm
God,
just
can
like,
we talk about when guys don't shoot their shot or girls don't shoot their shot because their friend had a crush on them and it got nowhere?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's
like I understand like in a normal world where like, oh yeah, they lived together, they did all that. Sure, they were married, 100%. But some people just be like, oh, we're not for coffee. Now nobody can date them.
Literally.
It's like, bro, they're just chatting it up. Like, that's it. Like, it's okay. Like, it's not that serious. I don't get it.
Like it was coffee. It wasn't a date. And even if it was a date, if it got nowhere, why is it so wrong for somebody else to get to know them? And I think that's a huge thing that people like base their whole life about. Oh no, it's because my friend had a crush on them. They didn't even talk to them. The guy doesn't even know that my friend liked him. But because she liked him, I can't go.
Yeah, claiming is one of the things that I'm just like, bro, claiming.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Toma café. Wash your mouth.
I read
Dang.
out. I didn't say anything, bro. Alright, hold on. Yo, I gotta stop talking to certain people, bro. No, I'm kidding. No, it's just like, bro, like, yo, my thought process was not the door.
He was gonna say a bad word.
No, is it? No,
Yes, he was.
No, it's not. Get that out of here.
So say it.
No, I'm not gonna say it. No, I only made the face once you made the face. I was like, oh, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, but I think that's the worst thing to do. Like I get it if you are friends and you dated and whatever. I guess, yes. Girl code, guy code.
I don't believe in any of that. Unless you guys like actually like were married, been dating for long, and it was serious. Sure,
That's true.
but I'm just like, most of the time it's just like little, like, conversations or even like crushes. Like, bro, like I know people that like, oh, two people like the same person. It's like, oh, that's the best man win. I don't care.
Like get to know people.
Bad advice.
But get
anyways.
to know people, as we said in the beginning, get to know people with the same values. You know, people that it's going to that you can see a life with, I guess, or like a future with, not even just in a relationship, but also a friendship.
Especially friendship, because I'm like, what I was saying, once the highs and the lows go away, you're just stuck with a friend, and it's just like,
once the beauty goes away, you're just stuck with your friend who you had great conversations with.
yeah. Because think about it, when you're like wake up in the morning, you're like tired. A friend will, your wife isn't gonna like, oh my god, look, I'm wearing this for you, and I brought you breakfast to bed. Sure.
That's unrealistic. That's a movie.
Sure, maybe like once.
That's a chick flick.
Once a month. Let's say pushing it once a week. Sure, but like not every day, because we're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm late to work. Let me go get out. Boom.
No, for real.
But you can have fun on the way out.
You wake up and your hair's like.
But like as a friend, we're like, yo, what's up? Dab each other up, besito here and there, and then boom.
Nah, besito every day, bro. Besito
No.
every day.
I'm saying like every morning, we laugh in the morning. I'm just like, yo, I'm tired, but like I feel like like I said, with a really good solid friend, you can say whatever you want. You can express yourself in ways that you were like, yo, we be joking with each other, like we be offending each other, and not too crazy.
Not in a way that we take it personal. We know we're joking.
Yeah, but like we have that freedom to like, yo, I want to roast you today.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. That's always funny.
Yeah.
But like we always come back to each other at the end of the day, and nobody gets like butthurt or over exaggerated, because I know that there's things that we don't touch upon. But anyways.
Yeah, and I've said this before. I think in our last episode. Date your best friends. If you have a friend and you guys are both single, but you guys enjoy each other's company.
Oh yeah, that was our story, definitely.
And you know, you can actually you enjoy their company. His company. I'm saying it because of you. If you enjoy their company, shoot your shot. If you find them attractive, shoot your shot. Don't let it stop you just because you guys are friends and you're gonna ruin the relationship.
I hate that phrase. You're gonna ruin the friendship.
You're not going to ruin the friendship.
And if you do, you do. So what? That's just me. I'm like, yo, life is way too short for me to be in love with somebody for like 10 years and never tell them.
And never tell them.
But that's also, I feel like that's also kind of weird too. Like if I like you and I've always had this liking in the back of my head and I never tell you, that's also not fair, because you expect a friend, but I expect a relationship out of it. So it's like, it's kind of uneven.
Yeah.
Which I've always been like, honestly, just do it.
Again,
like the worst.
This is your
sign. This is your sign
to shoot your shot.
But like, that's also the big thing. Like, also, I thought you were gonna say this earlier, but how do you feel about girls shooting their shot?
I'm all for it.
It's 2025.
You know what? I shot my shot with you.
Low key.
I kissed him first. I was like, "You come here, baby."
Yeah, basically. But like even before that, like I'm not even talking about like that. I mean like
not
initial conversation.
Because he lived in Florida for a while.
So what I did was after I sorry to cut you off, but as we were away, I was away. I came back from school, came back to New York, started working, whatever. I was just like, yo, let's catch up. Left it like that. That's me shooting my shot. So this is the way I would always work. I just plant the seed. Hey, let's hang out. And she was like, oh, okay, let's go this day. So then
I was like, let me take you out for your birthday, baby.
after I said but she had the hey, let's catch up in the back of her head. She's like, oh yeah. So
that is
and we were friends, and we're not strangers, right? Even then, if you're a stranger and you don't know, just
shoot your shot, bro.
Especially if you know your birthday, be like, yo, let me take you out for your birthday. Boom. One of the best. This is what I tell all my single people. One of the best things you could do is find a common hobby. If you don't know where to start, where to go to church, go to a group in church, do something. If you don't know outside of that, try work. Even though I'm kind of low key against dating at work, because if you get fired, but whatever. But like, also do some hobbies. Like I was talking about, do some hobbies. Go pickleball, go play soccer. There's open leagues. Go to the farmer's market. Go to the mall. Try on clothes. I don't know.
Go to a coffee shop.
Go to a library.
Say if you like coffee, go to a coffee shop.
Yeah, go to a library. I don't know. Go to a networking event. Go to a concert. And I'm like, at the end of the day, just shoot your shot. You don't even have to be like, yo, what's up? How's it going? Or people be like, oh no, I need to know your attention right away. Just be friends and be like, yo, how are you? Yeah. Make conversation. Yo, even if you're too scared to go anywhere, right? Let's say if you don't want to shoot your shot in person. I'm also a big person of shooting your shot in the DMs. Obviously, be mindful of this, but like, if you have if the person's posting on their story and you guys follow each other, that's already a plus, right? Cool. If you can, as a guy, if you can open up the conversation in a way that's not creepy, definitely do it. Test out the waters. So what I would say is like, write this down. I'm like, if you don't know, if they have a hobby, for example, someone does Pilates, let's say that. You like, oh man, Pilates, yo, I heard that was easy, this and that. How'd it go? Or, oh dang, how long you been doing Pilates for? Like, ask them about what their hobbies are like. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, oh wow, this guy's different. This guy's asking about me. He's not trying to take my number.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And then you just start the conversation there. You talk about working out. Go to the gym real quick if you don't know. And then you never know. Hey, look.
Go try Pilates for yourself.
Literally. Or be like, yo, take me real quick. Or something. I don't know. Like any little thing that you can do. Find somebody's hobbies. See if you guys connect. And see where that goes. Have a conversation.
For the ladies, shoot your shot. I know a lot of people that the girls shot their shot and now they're married.
With kids.
Yeah. And
I think my mom shot her shot. Sorry. Yeah, I think she did though. I think your mom. No, your mom.
No, not my mom. My sister-in-law though, she shot her shot.
Yep. And now they got
married.
Cute little kid.
A cute little kid. There you go. But ladies, shoot your shot. Don't be stuck on the I want them to come and
like Lord
sweep me off my
like
feet.
Lord Farquaad does in the movie in Shrek.
There he goes and picks me up in a horse. Listen, it's 2025. We're all busy. We all have jobs.
Yep.
It's okay for you to send the first message.
Yep.
Don't be afraid, or don't be led by people that are going to be like, oh, that's so weird that you're shooting the shot. You're the female. They're supposed to come to you. They're supposed to sweep you off your feet. Like, no. It can be 50-50. Of course. You're not going to pull up with flowers and chocolates, because I feel like that's very of a guy thing to do.
Yep.
But you could be like, hey, let's go out for coffee.
Or do the thing I told you. Yo, he posted his new song that he released. Check out my new EP. Be like, yo, what song is that? Send it over. Anything to get somebody's attention. It does not matter.
Yeah, you could just start off a conversation. It doesn't have to be anything
If you're in public, you get in church, whatever, it doesn't matter. I always say church because that's where we are all the time. You can be like, yo, I like your shoes. Where you get it from?
Yo, what are you doing after church? I know this great ramen place.
Sure, 100%.
I love ramen.
You go to the gym, be like, oh, dang, you want to get a smoothie?
Yeah, like, just shoot your shot.
The guys would be like, yo, I love smoothies. No one ever asked me for smoothies. I like smoothies.
You want a smoothie?
Okay. Anyways, yeah, just things like, I'm like, yo, let's just stop overcomplicating the way it works. 'Cause at the end of the day, it's like, relationships are not that complicated. They're complex, sure, but they're not that complicated. Because if not, nobody would do it. And I think being in a relationship, minus whatever people are saying, is the natural progression of life. You're born, you grow up, you get married, you have kids, and boom. Yes, there's in-betweens. I get it. You get a job, you get a promotion, whatever, you start a business, whatever. You get sick, you feel good, you don't feel good, whatever. But these are natural progressions. And if you feel like you don't want to date ever again, wrong podcast for you. Anyways, because this is about dating. But definitely, I feel like, sorry, pulling my notes. Definitely feel like you should definitely be doing that. Because one of the worst things you want to do is waste 2 years of your life fantasizing over somebody. Oh my God, she's so pretty. Oh my God, the way she speaks. Oh my God, this and that, whatever. And then you're just in the background like, and I've seen that. It's like, guys, just talk. Hey, how's it going? How are you?
Literally.
You did really good. This, there.
The worst thing, the worst thing anybody can say is no. Okay.
Or you'd be like, hi.
Hello.
Fake
on
laugh.
to the next person. But
don't be an boy. Don't be.
Yeah,
don't do all that. I get it, cool. But like, if you genuinely care about somebody, or you care about people, you're not gonna be like going on and off. Just saying hi is super non-damaging.
It's not. You're just literally making friendships.
Yep.
Like you are a single person that is making connections, making friends. Because like how we said, the best relationships start with you being friends.
It was good though too. If you don't, here's the other aspect of it. If you guys chat and you realize like, I'm not feeling it because there's just not that like spark. Because there has to be a spark. I feel like because you know,
there has to be some sort of romance into there,
or not even that. Like that spark, yo. Like when you're with your best friend, you guys are cracking up. That's the spark.
Yes.
When you guys are like, yo, go out to eat without even thinking about it, that's the spark.
Mm-hmm.
When you just like hug each other, like, yo, what's up? How's it going? This and that. That's the spark, right? If you don't feel that off with somebody, you're kind of just like, okay. Then, and if you feel like you're the only one pursuing, or you're the one trying, that's not a spark.
Yeah.
Some people also force it. I've seen people that, oh, but he's this and this. Yeah, but he doesn't like you. Like, just leave it. Oh no, but that. And you have to be careful because some people will see that. And they'll continue to drag on the relationship for like 4 or 5 years. And it's like, oh, yeah, I never really liked you. Like, oh.
And then one person is like, yo, but I want to get married. And the other person's like, huh? Like, that never crossed my mind.
It's like, so definitely once you get into, and that'll probably be a whole nother thing about probably next episode. Probably next episode of like beginning portions of dating, actually like talking to people and like what that's like and what that was like for us. But that's probably the next episode. This is more like focusing as you being a single. So definitely get rid of that fear of like relationships and talking and conversations. Like I said, at the end of the day, the worst thing that they could say is no, or there's no spark. But also, if things do work out well and there is no spark, you just made a friend, and there's nothing wrong with having more than one friend. One good thing I realized also being now a professional and adult is that you can never have too many friends, because down the line you guys might help out each other, because connections are always good. They always tell you, expand your circle. You never know what can happen. Especially now that we're more parents now, we're married for a while, and all that kind of stuff. Having friends around us is really good.
Especially in the same season.
Yep. And that's also a big one too. One good thing about preparing yourself for dating is having a good friendships. Yes. Because you need people to go to. You need people to kind of challenge you on why you're kind of like into that person. Because we all have that friend that you date somebody and they're just like,
I don't think you should be dating.
Yeah, which is good. And if you feel like you should, fight for it. Sure, whatever. We can go into that whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Be realistic. Grow as an individual. Grow in a way that's like, bro, get your money up.
Get your funny up.
Mm-hmm.
Como dice mi hermano. Get your money up, not your funny up, bro.
Definitely. Feel better about yourself. Get your health up. Any weird addiction you have, get rid of it.
Any healing that you have to do.
That's also a big one too, because some people have a lot of like trauma. I hate using the word trauma, by the way. Baggage, expectations of people. Some people are dealing with a breakup, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, whatever you're going through.
I was gonna say that, like, especially like if you're dealing with a breakup, heal that first. Heal that first, especially if you want to get into a relationship that you want that to be your last relationship. Heal that first, because you don't want to take whatever you dealt with in the past relationship into your new relationship.
Yep. And the good thing too is like, definitely, and if I say anything that has to do relationally that will affect your relationship, any baggage, definitely get rid of it.
And things will come up, and that's fine. We're all
Yeah,
human.
yeah, that's the thing. You'll never be 100%,
Yeah.
because there's things that popped up for me that I'm like, oh damn, I never dealt with this, or oh damn, I never knew that was an actual thing.
For me too.
And then you're just like, oh,
But you grow together. Like once we were a couple, we grew together in that we, we did what we had to do. We healed from it, and now I think we could talk about it, and we would be fine.
and definitely find somebody who's honest.
Yes.
Because I remember I told her, like, this is all my problems. You can take it or leave it. She's like, it's all mine. I was like, damn. No, I'm joking. But I was just like, yeah. Let's go for it. And we both knew right off the bat. There's no hiding. And I don't know. People do this. People, like, they have this, like, wall where they're secretive with certain things. And then when they get into marriage, it's like, whoa.
Where did that come from?
I'm like, oh, yeah, I always had it. I just never told you.
Like, huh? Like, where's the trust?
Like, oh, yeah, I had a leg thrown out the back of my thigh.
How?
I was like, what?
No,
Anyways.
but build the trust. Make sure that person that you're talking to or that you're getting to know now is trustworthy.
Yep.
Because trust is a huge thing.
Yep.
If the trust gets lost, it's so hard to be built up again.
Yep. And that's for next episode.
Yes.
Because when we'll talk about that, that'll definitely be something that we talk about. But yeah, definitely. Because I know I don't know, what time did we start? I didn't even set a timer. See, this is why we set timers.
45 minutes ago.
Oh my God. Anyways, sorry about that. This is probably a good episode though. But yeah, definitely. The most important tool and the most important thing that you provide in a relationship is yourself.
Yes.
So make sure that you are at the top of your game, that you are constantly working on yourself. And by the way, working on yourself does not stop just because you get married.
Or get into a relationship.
Yep. Or have kids. Because they're like, if you don't know how to deal with yourself in single mode, you will not be able to deal with yourself in relationship, in parent mode, in work mode, whatever. That's the most important thing. Because at the end of the day, I'm able to still check myself in marriage, and you're able to check yourself in by yourself. And there's things that I do on the side that she might not never see, but she'll see the product of it, which is like what we were saying, patience, all that, whatever, all that. But
yeah, but also, if you're on social media, don't compare yourself to other people who are in the same season as you, because they're not. Like everything we see on social media is
even if they're not.
Like, but even though like everything we see on social media is not
It's all
the reality of people's life. And a lot of people, they make videos, they're like, oh, this is my reality or whatever. But I sometimes think it's over exaggerated.
Everything media wise is over exaggerated. If you think about it, reality TV, all fake. It's all planned. Social media, everybody puts their best pose, their best image, their best milestones in life. Nobody ever puts like the hard stuff.
Bad things. Yeah.
So it's like chill. Get off social media. Don't compare your life to social media. It's fine. You can post. Do whatever you want. If you already got like 1 million followers, good for you.
Good for you. Get your money up.
Literally. But for the average person who's on social media, scrolling through memes, sending it in the group chats, sending it to multiple group chats, like chill. That's why I had to like hit the not interested, because I was like, I don't really care about these things. My Instagram is funny now.
But yeah, so like just the main points that we touch on is like work on yourself in the season that you're in, whatever season that may be in your singleness, especially in this episode, in your singleness.
Yep.
Work
single,
on yourself.
not single with the person in the back of your mind,
No.
or I mean a person in the back pocket, like you're talking to somebody, like single, like you're doing you're working on yourself, and you are curious about potentially dating, or you're like, yo, I think I'm in that time where I should start dating. You should do.
Yeah, you should just work on yourself, focus on yourself, focus on what you have to do. Be realistic. Again, Prince Charming is not gonna jump out of the screen, and neither is Cinderella.
Cinderella instead.
her ugly stepsister
from Shrek.
No, but seriously, don't be ¿cómo se dice? Vanidoso. How you say that in English?
Vain?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I've never heard of that word
Vanidoso
ever in my life.
is like you focus so much on the beauty that you forget about.
Shallow?
Yes, don't be shallow.
That's what you've been saying.
Don't be
you
shallow.
just made me feel like a no sabo kid. I've never heard that word ever in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I was like veins.
You are a no sabos
I'm really
kid, bro.
not. But anyways,
You learn Spanish with me. Bye.
literally can't speak Spanish. Can't speak Spanish like that. And our pages in Spanish. Entre Nosotros.
Entre Nosotros.
Anyways,
No, but yeah. So don't be shallow. Of course, be attracted to the person. Don't think go off and date somebody who you're not attracted to, because that matters. You have to be attracted to that person, but don't let beauty take over everything.
Because beauty is only like probably like a tenth of what you should be looking for.
You're gonna be 60 and everything's gonna be saggy. Like at the end of the day, you're gonna start getting white hairs, wrinkles. I think a big one, like you have kids and sometimes
Body aches. Sometimes you might be older and your body might not be as flexible.
you start getting like stretch marks, and it's not everything isn't always pink, you know.
Pink.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why I was like, well, out of all the colors, you picked that.
Roses. I was thinking of
Oh,
roses.
what the heck? Anyways. Anyways. Yeah, not everything's always roses. Out of all, I think you could have said either way, roses.
I was gonna say red.
Yeah, roses are red. Violets are blue. Come on, you don't know that? Anyways, like I was saying, I think time's already more than up. Definitely challenge you guys to that person that you are that you're thinking about talking to, or you're like,
Shoot your shot. This week, shoot your shot.
And let us know
Let
how it
us
is.
know how it goes.
Write it down in any of our posts, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, or TikTok.
An emoji, yeah, TikTok.
Let us know.
And you could do an emoji, a fire emoji, hands up emoji.
And if you feel like you want to be ballsy, tag them. That's it. Anyway,
in the comment section, will you go on a date with me, baby?
There you go. Yeah, the goal.
Do it.
The goal is that, and the reason our heart behind this is definitely relationships are the best things on the planet. I've seen people in the most amazing, the people that we look up to have the most amazing relationships, most amazing kids, and honestly, life is so much better when you have somebody to just do life with.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, definitely, because it's just. I'm like, for example, my parents are a good example of that. They've been together since they were like, even your parents, they'd be fighting all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, they're like, yo, you
They'd be fighting and stuff.
But you're like, yo,
They're each other.
You're my person.
They're each other's homies, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So, definitely.
Yeah. Also, a big thing that I forgot to say: don't let people's opinions change your perspective on the person. Because at the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is what you think of that person.
Unless they're red flags.
Yes, if they're a walking red flag,
like, yo, he's a serial killer. Nah, I'm gonna go find out for myself.
If they're a walking red flag, bye.
It depends. If you're like, if it's like a gossipy kind of thing, sure. But if it's an actual like, hey, might want to avoid this person, and you trust that friend, and you kind of realize that they're like, you're right. Definitely listen to them.
Yeah.
If they're on like a wanted poster, definitely listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not like people. Like I've seen people that are like, oh no, I gotta go. This is a guy I like, and they're kind of ashamed to show him. It's like, so what? Like, don't matter.
Yeah, but have that. I think that's where you were going.
Friends. I don't know. Yeah.
Have that circle of friends that you can be like, hey guys, I want to go on a date with this person. ¿Qué piensan? Because if you have that good circle of friends, they'll tell you the truth. They'll want the best for you. I hope everybody has those kind of friends that they want the best for you.
And if you don't, definitely look for them.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be 100 friends. It'd just be like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Pushing it.
Literally. That's all you need. You just need friends to look out for you.
Yep. But definitely work on yourself nonstop, because that's the one thing that will never stop. That's the one thing that will never not be, because you'll always be yourself.
Yeah.
And
finding that person to do it with is just, it makes things so much better. And even if like you get friends along the way. So, but
sound like a Disney movie. But definitely challenge you guys. Get out there, start talking to people, make friends, and yeah, if you guys aren't already, please subscribe, please follow.
TikTok,
if you have
YouTube.
stories of like the time you shot your shot and you're like, oh man, 10 years later now I have kids, because shooting your shot is not recent. Everybody's been doing it from the beginning of time. till now. Everybody's been in a relationship. That's how you know it's not hard. Because if it was hard, nobody would do it. And we all got moms and dads.
If it was hard, you wouldn't be here.
Literally, we all got moms and dads. We all got great grandparents, and they all got great grandparents. Oh, put up a history book. They all got parents. So we all came from somewhere. So romance is still alive.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know of any stories you got, any questions, any other topic you want us to touch on. Definitely leave that all below. And
but this was episode 1.
1. Oh, times 1
equals 1.
Because one person and another person will make another person, which is yourself. So the way we treat, and the reason why we say the way we treat it is because me plus her makes one relationship. So there's no greater than, less than. There's no you and me. It's us at this point. So,
and this was episode 3. But before you guys go, this is our last episode here.
Oh yeah, because we're moving.
So the setup will be a bit different. So don't miss us that much. We'll be back.
And if we're late, just know it's because we're moving and doing some renovations. So
yeah, but wish us luck, guys.
So
bye. Love ya.